Maybe everyone is entitled to blind maids, bring a bit of magic to the world. And today I'm doing a video about anxiety and cognitive disorders. So for all those returning, welcome back. And to the new members, I hope you enjoy the videos that are on my channel. Last weekend, I went to New Jersey to do a live action roleplay event with the Dane Theater known as Dragon Ferns. And I had a mixed reaction to the event. On the one hand, I was really happy to see all my old friends, to do adventuring with tabletop gaming, and helping move the story along for people. On the other hand, I actually had a couple of anxiety attacks, and because of that, while dealing with new players, my mind kind of went in a downward spiral. So for all those that haven't experienced before, anxiety attacks, or when you feel like you can't breathe, you're overwhelmed by emotions and irrational thoughts. And thus it goes hand in hand with cognitive distortions because your mind is making illusions of a reality that's not real. And ironically, I didn't think of this until Lauren was watching a standard size video. And I'll put the link to that down below that video, and what made me think of doing a video about it. Doing research, I realized that there are three that I usually tend to go to when I have anxiety attacks. And they are emotional reasoning, jumping conclusions, and catastrophizing. Oh god, I butchered that one.
Catastrophizing?
Thank you. So the first one I'll explain is the hardest one for me to pronounce.
And it's catastrophizing.
Right.
Jeez.
Which means turning a small problem into a huge problem. Or, as I'm sure people have heard, making mountains out of molehills. What?
I've never heard that expression.
No?
Uh-uh.
Wow. So what it means is that you take a small problem and you blow it way out of proportion. So for example, for the event, when I was trying to draft new players, I was getting ignored or treated like I wasn't there. And instead of just thinking, okay, maybe they just don't hear me or they just notice me there, my mind made it huge, thinking that I wasn't wanted or they didn't interact with me. Next one is jumping to conclusions, which means making an assumption of a situation lacking evidence to support your theory. And going back to what happened at the LARP, my jumping to conclusions was thinking that I didn't belong or that I wasn't wanted because of how difficult it was for me to interact with other players. And sometimes it was either when we were having downtime, everyone was just hanging out in the lounge, or when I was wandering around the hotel and assumed that maybe people couldn't tell that I didn't know he was in the room because of how well I was traveling with my cane. So I saved the hardest one for last, not saying it, but explaining how it affects me. And that's emotional reasoning, which is the emotions you feel at the time is your reality. And that's really dangerous with anxiety because anxiety, you're already feeling negative or self-loathing. And to have these emotions be explained by your mind as reality is really hard to break out of. Hence why at the event, I had good times playing adventures and people got me out of it, but then as soon as I had to interact again on my own, I fell back into that trap. So for me, my emotional reasoning was that I was being a burden to Rachel because she was not only our leader in our house, but also she was the one helping me get around. And whenever she wasn't with me, I felt like that was the hardest time for me to interact with other players. And cry. And growing up being bullied, when you're in a group and feel like you're being ignored, it's hard not to go back to those emotions.
Hmm.
And I feel like emotional reading hit me the hardest Saturday because I had a wardrobe malfunction where my dress was a double dress and the inside dress had gotten tailed up and inside out. And when you're blind, it's kind of hard to figure out how to fix that. So I had sent a text out for help to the group, and by the time I didn't know that the Wi-Fi went down, so I thought I was just being ignored for 2 hours, and I had a really bad breakdown because of that.
Wow, that really was like the video we watched, your hand had. We were waiting for the guy like to text him back, and we didn't get an answer all day. We thought he wasn't worthy of his attention.
Yeah. And oh, sorry. And at the time, I like had enough, and I actually had packed my bag and was looking at left to leave the event.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does Rachel realize it was that bad?
No, like I said, at the time, no one knew where I was. It wasn't until 2 hours later I texted Rachel asking where I was I just like taking a break from the date, I had gone for a walk, and whatever happened, she felt bad, but I'm like, you know, you're not responsible for me. Like, why should it just be you? But then on the positive side is after that happened, I had reached my head out because there was a war room across my hotel room full of Lancaster, which is the party house. And not only did they help me in my costume, they pretty much adopted me into their house, dressed what I want. And because of that and the awesome GMs that came and found me every time I was by myself, I had an event that was fun for the rest of the weekend.
But Lancaster's a party house.
Yeah, it's a party house full of vampires and no healers, which is what my character was.
Well, that was good. You probably felt needed.
Yeah, and I said, and there was the side quest I did with GMs, like, for example, we had a Jenna game with Evan and one other GMs, Michelle, I think. It's kind of hard for me to tell GMs apart and other characters apart unless, like, I know them really well or they have a distinct voice. And then Saturday night, everyone kind of got wasted. And
Party!
We actually got to do party games. Like, for example, making mummies out of toilet paper, beer pong, but with water, throwing and testing candy like you do with water balloons, only it's behind your head. And it was a lot of fun, and people were really surprised that I was really good at something that I couldn't see.
I mean, you kind of figured out you use audio cues to try and guide you.
You'd think that, but for the candy cost, there wasn't any audio cue. It was just throw and hope it went in.
I mean, for the beer pong.
Oh. Yeah, well, for beer pong setup, it was all the cups were on a stage. So you had to throw them in the air into the cup.
Dang.
But there wasn't any audio cues of where the cups were.
It's just a difficulty on a whole nother level.
I mean, they're nice. They let me get close to them. There's other people had to like throw them far away. But it was still hard. I guess the good thing to take away from this is that now I know what happens when I have anxiety attacks and I can work on ways to deal with it. I noticed that when I have distractions, it kind of helps me get out of that funk or that downward spiral of depression and anxiety. Which is good to know because sometimes you don't even know what's happening until it's too late to stop it or prevent it. And like I said, I love my returning players. I love the GMs. Like, they do an amazing job. And I'm working with Stefan and I told other GMs to tell me ideas for ways to help with downtime with the players and ensure it doesn't happen where you feel alone or isolated because you're having trouble interacting with the players or other people. And I would recommend doing Dragon Thrones. I'll put a link to that down below. They are doing Dragon Thrones Heroes, which is their winter event, which I will probably go to because, like I said, despite this being not one of my favorite events for Dragon Thrones, I still love the community and I still want to support them. So this was a challenging video. I was trying not to cry, but being an empath, it's hard not to think of past events and having that wall of emotions like slam into you. But I thought it'd be good to talk about my experience and maybe explain why people at the event saw me cry a lot every weekend. Unfortunately, when I get anxiety or feel anxious, that's just my go-to reaction because of BBS. It is just start crying and not really have an explanation for it. But anyway, comment down below what you thought about the video, if you want me to do more like these. And until next time, what's it be?